Ever wondered why the UK doesn't even have a single constitutional book, while the US Constitution is so rigid it's barely changed in over 200 years? Or how India managed to steal the best of both worlds? Welcome back to Mani Bal Education. Today, we're breaking down the ultimate cheat sheet on constitutions, from written versus unwritten, to rigid versus flexible, and all those unwritten political conventions that secretly run the world. Whether you're cramming for your civics exams or just want to understand how governments actually function, grab your notebook because we're making this crystal clear. Let's dive in. Here are the full questions along with clear, comprehensive answers for revision in exam preparation. Part 1. Short questions for practice. Q1. What is a constitution? Answer. A constitution is the fundamental legal document of a country that lays down the basic principles, structure, organization, powers, and functions of the government. It defines the relationship between the government and its citizens, as well as among the different organs of the state, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Q2. What is constitutional law? Answer. Constitutional law refers to the body of legal rules and principles that govern the distribution and exercise of sovereign power within a state. It includes written constitutional provisions, statutory laws, judicial precedents, and established political conventions. Q3. What are the main types of a constitution? Answer. The main types, classifications of a constitution are: 1. Written and unwritten constitutions. 2. Rigid and flexible constitutions. 3. Enacted and evolved constitutions. Q4. What are rigid and flexible constitutions? Answer. Rigid constitution. A constitution that requires a special, complex procedure for amendment, distinct from the ordinary lawmaking process, e.g., USA. Flexible constitution. A constitution that can be amended easily through the standard lawmaking procedure by a simple majority in the legislature, e.g., UK. Q5. Define written and unwritten constitutions. Answer. Written constitution. A systematically codified document framed by a specially convened constituent assembly at a specific point in time, e.g., USA, India. Unwritten constitution. A constitution that is not codified in a single document but consists of historical customs, conventions, statutes, and judicial decisions accumulated over time, e.g., UK. Q6. Can the Constitution be a totally unwritten constitution? Answer. No. No constitution in the world is 100% unwritten. Even in an unwritten constitution like the UK's, there are important written acts and charters such as the Magna Carta, 1215, Bill of Rights, 1689, and Parliament Acts of 1911 and 1949. Q7. What are conventions? Answer. Conventions are unwritten rules, customs, practices, and political traditions that are not legally enforced by courts, but are strictly observed in practice to ensure the smooth functioning of the government. Q8. Explain the contents, features of a modern constitution. Answer. A modern constitution typically contains preamble, statement of core philosophy and objectives, organizational framework, structure, powers, and functions of the organs of government, citizenship and fundamental rights, guarantees of rights and liberties to citizens, directive principles, state policy, guidelines for governance, amendment procedure, rules for updating the Constitution, emergency provisions, special powers during national crises. Q9. Discuss the merits and demerits of a rigid constitution. Answer. Merits. 1. Ensures political stability and continuity. 2. Protects fundamental rights of citizens from arbitrary political changes. 3. Essential for federal states to protect the rights of federating units. Demerits. 1. Lacks adaptability during sudden socio-economic changes or emergencies. 2. Can lead to political stagnation or revolution if reforms are blocked. 3. Gives excessive power of interpretation to the judiciary. Q10. Discuss the merits and demerits of a flexible constitution. Answer. Merits. 1. Highly adaptable to changing social and economic conditions. 2. Easily accommodates emergency situations. 3. Reduces the likelihood of constitutional crises or revolutions. Demerits. 1. Unstable, subject to frequent changes by ruling political parties. 2. Fails to protect fundamental rights during times of political instability. 3. Unsuitable for federal systems. Q11. Give some examples of written, unwritten, rigid, and flexible constitutions. Answer. Written Constitution. USA, India, Switzerland. Unwritten Constitution. United Kingdom, New Zealand. Rigid Constitution. USA, Switzerland. Flexible Constitution. United Kingdom. Q12. Defined Constitution. What are its kinds? Answer. See Q1 and Q3 for definitions. Kinds of constitutions. 1. Written. Codified in a single document. 2. Unwritten. Evolved through customs and statutes. 3. Rigid. Difficult to amend. 4. Flexible. Easy to amend. 5. Enacted. Deliberately created at a specific date. 6. Evolved. Developed naturally over centuries. Q13. How the Constitution of India is both rigid and flexible. Answer. The Constitution of India strikes a balance between rigidity and flexibility under Article 368. 1. Flexible. Certain provisions can be amended by a simple majority in Parliament, e.g., creation of new states. 2. Rigid. Most provisions require a special majority, 2/3 members present and voting plus absolute majority, in both houses. 3. Very rigid. Specific federal provisions require a special majority in Parliament plus ratification by at least half of the state legislatures. Q14. How the Constitution of the USA is a very rigid constitution. Answer. The U.S. Constitution is extremely rigid because an amendment proposal requires a 2/3 majority in both houses of Congress, or a convention called by 2/3 of states, followed by ratification by 3/4 of the state legislatures, or state conventions. Consequently, only 27 amendments have been passed in over 230 years. Q15. Why is it said that the UK has the most flexible constitution in the world? Answer. The UK Constitution is considered the most flexible because the British Parliament can pass, amend, or repeal any constitutional rule using the exact same procedure used for passing ordinary laws, simple majority. Q16. Describe the contents of a modern constitution. Answer. Same as Q8. Includes preamble, government structure, fundamental rights, amendment clause, emergency powers, judiciary scope. Q17. What is the importance and role of conventions? Answer. Role, importance. 1. They bring flexibility to rigid constitutional texts. 2. They fill legal gaps and enable constitutions to adapt to modern political realities. 3. They ensure democratic principles are maintained without frequent legal changes. Q18. What are the features of a modern ideal constitution? Answer. 1. Clarity and precision. Written in clear language to avoid ambiguities. 2. Brevity. Concise yet comprehensive enough to cover essential organs. 3. Balance. Proper mix of rigidity and flexibility. 4. Protection of rights. Strong guarantees for individual fundamental rights. 5. Judicial independence. Provisions for an impartial legal system. Q19. Briefly explain the nature and scope of conventions in the Constitution of UK. Answer. In the UK, conventions form the backbone of the executive and legislative functioning. Key examples include: the monarch acts on the advice of the Prime Minister. The monarch appoints the leader of the majority party in the House of Commons as Prime Minister. The Prime Minister must resign if they lose a vote of confidence in the House of Commons. Q20. What are the major conventions of the U.S. Constitution? Why have these developed? Answer. Major conventions. The cabinet system assisting the president, judicial review, political party machinery, and national presidential candidate selection conventions. Why developed? They developed to bridge gaps in the short 1787 Constitution document and adapt to modern governing needs. Q21. Why is it said that there are as many conventions in the USA as there are in the UK? Answer. Even though the USA has a concise written constitution, it leaves many operational details unwritten. Key systems, such as political parties, congressional committees, cabinet meetings, and presidential nomination conventions, are entirely governed by conventions. Q22. Discuss the major conventions which have developed in the Indian political system. Answer. 1. Governor's appointment. The governor of a state is usually appointed from outside that state after consulting the chief minister. 2. Prime Minister's House. The Prime Minister generally belongs to the Lok Sabha, lower house. 3. Speaker's impartiality. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha acts neutrally regardless of party origins once elected. Part 2. ISC Board Questions, 2001-2020. 1. Meaning of convention, and who popularized the phrase, conventions of the Constitution. 2001. Meaning: unwritten political customs, practices, and rules followed by tradition to facilitate government operations. Popularized by A.V. Dicey. 2. What is implied by unwritten and written constitutions with examples? 2001. Written. Codified in one official document, e.g., USA, India. Unwritten. Uncodified, made of judicial decisions, customs, and acts, e.g., UK. 3. How far are written constitutions more advantageous to democratic systems? 2001. They provide clear rights, prevent autocracy, establish clear limits on authority, and safeguard rule of law against sudden political shifts. 4. What are the essentials of a good constitution? 2002. Clarity, brevity, balance of rigidity and flexibility, clear fundamental rights, and an independent judiciary. 5. Give one example each of a written and unwritten constitution. Is rigidity inherent in a federal constitution? 2002. Written. USA, unwritten, UK. Rigidity in federalism. Yes. Rigidity is essential in federal systems to ensure central government cannot unilaterally change the division of power between national and state governments. 6. What are conventions? Give 2 examples. 2002. Examples. 1. UK Prime Minister must be a member of the House of Commons. 2. US Cabinet system aiding the President. 7. Elucidate the merits and demerits of an unwritten constitution. 2002. Merits. High flexibility, easy emergency management, organic evolution. Demerits. Ambiguity, uncertainty, lack of clear protection of citizen rights, unsuitable for federations. 8. Why is a written constitution more of a necessity in recent years? 2003. Due to modern complex states, protection of civil rights, rise of federal structures, and the need to prevent executive overreach. 9. What are the contents and qualities of a good constitution? 2003. Refer to Q8 and Q18 in Part 1. 10. The difference between a rigid and a flexible constitution is false. Explain. 2003. The distinction is relative, not absolute. Flexible constitutions, like UK, often maintain rigid constitutional conventions, while rigid constitutions, like USA, evolve rapidly through judicial interpretation and conventions. 11. Define constitution and discuss its kinds. 2004. Refer to Q12 in Part 1. 12. All constitutions contain rigid and flexible, written and unwritten elements. Justify with USA, UK, and India. 2004. USA. Written and rigid, but has unwritten conventions, cabinet, and flexible judicial interpretations. UK. Unwritten and flexible, but has written statutes, Magna Carta, Human Rights Act. India. Written, but combines rigid and flexible amendment clauses alongside conventions. 13. Is classification of constitution into written and unwritten realistic? 2005. No. Garner noted that a written constitution is unwritten in parts, and an unwritten constitution is written in parts. It is a distinction of degree, not of kind. 14. What is constitution? Explain its importance. 2005. It creates organs of government, limits state authority, guarantees rights, and ensures stable governance. 15. Why is a written constitution necessary in modern times? 2005. Essential to maintain federal balance, clearly define rights, and secure legal precision in large democracies. 16. What are rigid and flexible constitutions? Discuss merits, demerits. 2006. Refer to Q4, Q9, and Q10 in Part 1. 17. Are constitutions of USA, UK, and India rigid or flexible? Discuss each. 2006. USA. Extremely rigid. UK. Extremely flexible. India. A synthesis of both rigid and flexible. 18. What is meant by constitution of a country? 2007. Refer to Q1 in Part 1. 19. Name 2 countries with a rigid constitution. 2007. 1. United States of America. 2. Switzerland. 20. A. Essentials of a good constitution. B. False distinction between written and unwritten. 2007. Refer to Q18 and Q13. 21. What is meant by an unwritten constitution? 2007. Refer to Q5. 22. Describe the 4 different kinds of constitution with examples. 2008. 1. Written, USA. 2. Unwritten, UK. 3. Rigid, USA. 4. Flexible, UK 23. Elaborate any 3 merits of I. Flexible constitution. 2. Rigid constitution. 2008. Flexible, adaptable, prevents revolutions, manages emergencies easily. Rigid, highly stable, safeguards federalism, protects rights from political shifts. 24. What are the advantages of a written constitution? 2009. 1. High clarity and legal certainty. 2. Strong protection of citizen rights. 3. Prevents federal disputes between center and states. 25. Why should a good constitution be neither too rigid nor too flexible? 2009. If too rigid, it causes frustration and risks violent revolutions. If too flexible, it causes political instability and erosion of fundamental rights. 26. State 2 reasons why the British Constitution is classified as unwritten. 2011. 1. It was never framed by a single constituent assembly at one time. 2. It relies heavily on unwritten conventions, customs, and legal precedents. 27. Classification into written, unwritten in absolute terms? 2011. Incorrect. All written constitutions rely on conventions. All unwritten ones contain written legal statutes. 28. State 6 essential qualities of a good constitution. 2011. 1. Clarity. 2. Brevity. 3. Comprehensiveness. 4. Adaptability. 5. Protection of rights. 6. Judicial independence. 29. Mention 2 demerits of a written constitution. 2012. 1. Rigidity makes it slow to respond to emergency social changes. 2. Excessive litigation due to detailed legal wording. 30. Why is it necessary to have a written constitution in modern times? 2013. Refer to Q15. 31. Features of written versus unwritten. Why is distinction false? 2013. Refer to Q5 and Q13. 32. 3 merits and 3 demerits of a rigid constitution. 2013. Refer to Q9. 33. Difference between constitutional law and ordinary law? 2014. Constitutional law. 1. Supreme fundamental law of the land. 2. Enacted by a constituent assembly, special process. 3. Harder to amend, overrides ordinary laws. Ordinary law. 1. Created under the authority of constitutional law. 2. Framed by the ordinary legislature. 3. Easily amended by simple majority. 34. How is flexibility achieved in the British Constitution? 2014. Through the power of Parliament to amend constitutional principles using ordinary legislative procedures, simple majority. 35. What is a constitution? State 6 qualities of a good constitution. 2014. Refer to Q1 and Q28. 36. 3 merits and 3 demerits of a flexible constitution. 2014. Refer to Q10. 37. State 2 conventions of the written Constitution of USA. 2015. 1. Formation and functioning of the President's Cabinet. 2. Committee system in U.S. Congress. 38. The distinction between a written and unwritten constitution is a false one. Discuss. 2015. Refer to Q13. 39. 3 merits and demerits of a rigid constitution. 2015. Refer to Q9. 40. Differentiate between an enacted constitution and an evolved constitution. 2016. Enacted. Created and written at a specific time by a designated assembly, e.g., USA, India. Evolved. Developed slowly across centuries through customs, judicial decisions, and historic acts, e.g., UK. 41. Distinguish between a flexible constitution and a rigid constitution. 2017. Refer to Q4. 42. What are conventions? 2018. Refer to Q7. 43. A. Explain. I. Written. E. Unwritten. E. Enacted. IV. Evolutionary. B. Real distinction. 2018. A. O. Written. Codified document. O. Unwritten. Historical collection of customs, laws. O. Enacted. Specially created on a set date. O. Evolutionary. Grown naturally over time. B. Distinction is not real, absolute, it is a matter of degree. 44. A. Way U.S. Constitution can be amended. B. Distinguish written versus unwritten. 2020. A. Proposed by 2/3 majority in Congress, or National Convention, and ratified by 3/4 of state legislatures, or state conventions. B. Written constitutions are codified in a single official text. Unwritten constitutions are spread across multiple sources, customs, and statutes. And that is your full breakdown of constitutions wrapped up. Now, let's amend this video's stats together. Page facing up, pass a resolution. If this video made your prep 10x easier, smash that like button. Consider it your fundamental right. Megaphone, divide the power. Share this video with your study group or classmates who are panicking about their exams. Classical building, join the Republic. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next high-value study guide. Got a favorite convention or a question about rigid constitutions? Drop it in the comments below. Let's start a debate as lively as Parliament. Thanks for watching, keep your mind flexible, and I'll see you in the next one.